Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. Today it's all about how smart spending decisions are ensuring that there is greater value for every dollar spent, both in terms of the creation of an effective working environment and for customer service delivery. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. The news comes your way right after this break.
The JIS Heritage Essay Competition is here again. If you're a primary or preparatory school student aged 9 to 12, you may enter. Write an essay on the topic, A Day in the Life of My Favorite National Hero. Ensure your essay is 400 to 500 words. Include a title page and list of references, with JIS being one of the sources. And submit the essay using the application form on the JIS website, jis.gov.jm. Deadline is Saturday, October 31, 2015. So start writing your essay today! For more information, contact the Jamaica Information Service at 926-374-026, extension 2137 or 2023, or email heritageessay@jis.gov.jm.
Good day, I'm Andrea Chizom and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, October 21. The Development Bank of Jamaica DBJ has begun evaluating bids from two entities that have expressed an interest in acquiring Caymanas Track Limited CTL. The bids were received from Caymanas Racing and Entertainment Limited and Supreme Ventures Limited. The DBJ should select the preferred bidder by next month and will advise the Finance Ministry and Cabinet of its decision. Caymanas Track Limited is Jamaica's sole horse racing promotions company located at the Caymanas Park Track in St. Catherine. The deadline for submitting proposals for its divestment was September 18. The Office of Utilities Regulation OUR Act has been amended to enhance transparency and investor confidence within the electricity sector. The act was passed in the House of Representatives on October 13 and will be sent to the Senate for its approval. Energy Minister Philip Paulwell piloted the bill and said the changes would address the mechanism being used to set tariffs for the electricity sector.
The OUR Amendment Bill will seek to address these matters by requiring the Office of Utilities Regulation to be guided by not only the amended Office of Utilities Regulation Act, but also the new Electricity Act, the amended and restated All Ireland Electric License 2011, and certain principles when setting tariffs for the electricity sector.
The Ministry of Health is taking steps to expand the services offered at the Alexandria Community Hospital in St. Anne. A letter of intent was recently signed with two entities, the Patel Foundation and Mind, Body and Soul, a not-for-profit foundation. It paves the way for a memorandum of understanding to cover expansion of the hospital's maternity, pharmacy and dental services.
It is my view that when at least phase one, which would cover the pharmacy area and oral health area, that in itself will make a big impact.
Over time, laboratory and X-ray services will also be expanded and a private wing added.
Our hope is in less than 6 months we will be able to start seeing the first patient with a positive impact in that area.
Work is to continue among the partners to define the full scope of the project and cost, which will then be taken to Cabinet for approval. Government has allocated an initial sum of $5 million for cleanup and disposal of the Sargassum seaweed that's currently affecting beaches and coastlines around Jamaica. The clumps of brownish seaweed are being seen as an invasion that has left a number of shorelines severely overrun, which is also negatively affecting the tourism sector. National Environment and Planning Agency Executive Anthony Mackenzie says the cleanup exercises will be a multi-agency effort.
We have had a cleanup activity over in St. Mary that some funds have been made available to support that cleanup activity. We had some accumulation in the grill, so there was a cleanup there, and it might be that we'd have to do some expenditure to assist in that cleanup effort.
Mr. Mackenzie was speaking at a JIS think tank on Tuesday. He said the Sargassum seaweed had to be removed with care, so NEPA had prepared general guidelines to direct the process. This information is available on their website, nepa.gov.jm. 230 police constables have received diversity training to interact better with vulnerable and marginalized groups in the society. The two-day training sessions focused on the safety and the security of women and girls, persons living with disabilities, marginalized youth, and members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgendered LGBT community. The objective was to increase awareness on the nuances of the diverse groups and the police's capacity to deal with them. Deputy Commissioner in charge of Operations Clifford Blake said the training session would improve the professionalism of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Make a difference in how you speak to persons. Make a difference in if you see your colleagues doing something wrong, regardless of rank, regardless of service, just say to the person, you know, I think you could have done this differently. And based on the training I have received, I think this is how you should do it.
The diversity training session for the police was conducted under Phase 2 of the Community Empowerment and Transformation COMET program. It's being carried out by the United States Agency for International Development in collaboration with the JCF. And finally, Youth and Culture Minister Lisa Hanna says government is committed to the process of reparation to address the ills of slavery. While addressing a recent conversation forum on the issue, she lauded the work of the Reparations Committee, whose report has been tabled in Parliament and received a successful bipartisan vote.
We are committed to making sure that children understand what the reparations movement is, and that as a country we understand that this is something and an idea whose time has come.
Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade State Minister Arnaldo Brown, meanwhile, says the reparations approach goes beyond a request for payment in monetary terms and is non-confrontational.
It involves an agreed process of reconciliation, including the need for an acknowledgement by those countries which were enriched by the profits of slavery that a crime against humanity was committed, the need for a solemn apology, technology transfer, and debt cancellation. And we are very cognizant that this is not an event, that it is a process.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.
Program implementation remains strong. We also welcome the recent wage agreements. It was a proactive and important step in reducing Jamaica's public debt. A gradual economic recovery is underway. The growth outlook is improving. Growth is now projected to be about 1.4% for this fiscal year.
The government of Jamaica is on a mission, going for growth, staying the course, and transforming the economy through its economic reform program.
Using technology that will create more efficient and organized business processes is certainly not cheap. The end result, however, especially in terms of service delivery, will justify the expenditure. This is the experience for the Jamaica Customs Agency. They're making the best use of their integrated web-based system.
Fiscal prudence is simply good money management. Getting the most out of each dollar and making sure that investments bring immediate returns and sets up your entity to experience more growth in the future. The same applies to running a country.
As the world economy recovers from the disruptions of the Great Recession of 2008, that it is going to move into a phase of sustained growth. We are in an early phase of that recovery still, but we need to ensure most of all that as the wave of growth picks up, we are able to surf that wave and to gather momentum domestically.
A key link in that plan is the management of our ports, which have an important role to play in the facilitation of trade. Government is introducing a number of mechanisms to improve port operations to make them more efficient in line with world standards. The Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA's mission statement, in part, is to facilitate trade, protect our borders, and optimize revenue collection. As part of achieving that, the agency is revamping its Authorized Economic Operator AEO program. An AEO is an individual or company that plays a part in the international movement of merchandise. The system rewards economic operators that consistently comply with customs regulations and focuses resources on potentially unsafe and high-risk entities and individuals.
The program ensures predictability in importation and, by extension, production timeframes, a critical component to the production process. Trusted importers and exporters can circumvent the lengthy wait between arrival of shipment in the country and actual receipt of goods, not just in Jamaica, but in other AEO countries within the European Union and the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC.
JCA's revamped AEO program was launched on July 20, 2014. Through it, all relevant personnel within the import and export chain will be certified to encourage compliance and reduce security risks. The program ensures the integrity of Jamaica's supply value chain and supports a working partnership between operators and customs.
It is really then a catalyst for improving the ease and speed of doing business and for moving goods or services across borders.
The Authorized Economic Operator Program was redesigned with assistance from the World Customs Organization, the Inter-American Development Bank, and the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Another major development is underway at the Jamaica Customs Agency in support of government's fiscal policy. An automated system for customs data, ASICUDA, is being implemented at a cost of $4 million to speed up operations at the ports by fully automating export and import transactions. It was introduced through a pilot phase in February 2014 and will be fully rolled out in fiscal year 2015-16. This system will allow for real-time updates on new tax regulations to minimize errors and delays in the computation of port taxes. This automated customs data system is also expected to significantly reduce the cost of importation and doing business for local and foreign investors. And like other countries that have already implemented the ASICUDA, Jamaica expects to benefit from a 10 to 20% increase in revenues.
The country needs the additional revenues, which can flow from this, just from the improved compliance benefits, including self-compliance. People can know what it is that they are liable for and can more easily settle their obligations. It's not just a matter of, shall we say, identifying persons who are trying to avoid or evade duties.
This is significant for manufacturers who often need to import and export particular goods multiple times before achieving the final product. This may include an item undergoing partial processing in Jamaica, being moved to the United States for further development, and then shipped back to Jamaica for final processing.
It means that if you are going to be part of that production chain, you have to be able to move your raw materials in and your product out without any interference or as little interference as possible. If you are not able to do that, then people who are involved in organizing those production chains will avoid coming to your country to locate that piece of the production chain where we might be competitive and will seek other jurisdictions.
By retaining Jamaica's market preference, government is setting the platform for greater foreign exchange earnings, which supports a healthier economy.
Our business as government is to enable the people who are doing business of production to produce and to make us all in this country able to achieve a higher standard of living.
The Jamaica Customs Agency, streamlining its operations and practicing fiscal prudence.
The PetroCaribe Development Fund, PDF, knows about making investments which will provide high yields, whether in human, economic or social capital. As we continue our review of the PetroCaribe Energy Corporation Agreement, we look at the work of the PDF and how the investments made are changing lives right across the country. The PetroCaribe Development Fund, PDF, as a multifaceted funding organization, has been investing in Jamaica through a number of economic and social infrastructure projects since its inception. Under the Petroleum Amendment Act, the funds managed by the PDF are used for the upgrading of social and physical infrastructure, stimulating economic growth, supporting the development of human resources, supporting projects which promote the use of alternative source of energy, and refinancing of public sector domestic debt. The PDF has invested over $4.6 billion Jamaican dollars in developmental projects.
The Kingston Container Terminal is one of the largest public investments in Jamaica. It employs about 1,500 persons, either directly or indirectly, and large numbers of small and medium-sized enterprises involved in the importation and re-exportation of goods. The Falmouth cruise ship pier is one of the most modern of its type anywhere in the hemisphere. It also contributes greatly to national development by virtue of the jobs that are created. In the financial crisis which occurred in 2008 to 2009, we found that it was necessary for us to do a bit of financial restructuring, and the PetroCaribe was very important to us because we were able to borrow for up to 25 years at much more attractive interest rates. This has given us the ability to continue to maintain the Kingston Container Terminal at world-class standards that allows it to compete on an international basis, and for Falmouth to remain the most compelling, the most attractive cruise ship pier throughout the hemisphere. So we have benefited greatly from the relationship with the PetroCaribe in ensuring the competitiveness of these two entities which participate in the international markets and keeps the flag of Jamaica flying high.
The other infrastructural projects undertaken through investments from the fund include the modernization of the Norman Manley International Airport, the construction of the Mount Rossa bypass, and the North-South Highway. Investment has also been made in the business processing outsourcing sector, which operates through a number of facilities employing over 15,000 individuals. In distributing funding, the PDF has also formed partnerships with other implementing agencies such as the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. Through a Memorandum of Understanding signed on August 2, 2011, the PDF has made available to the JSIF over 200 million Jamaican dollars. The funding has been used for the construction and rehabilitation of sanitary facilities in schools across the island. The interventions implemented through the JSIF targets poor and vulnerable groups so as to transform their lives, improve the physical and social infrastructure of their communities, and position them to be productive citizens. Schools in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland are beneficiaries of this partnership with the PDF and JSIF. For the Giddy Hall, Q Park and Friendship Primary Schools, the JSIF is constructing 8-seater sanitation blocks with compartment for the physically challenged.
I must tell you the truth that the birth of this new structure, the sanitary convenience, it has lifted the community and the school, most importantly the students, to new heights.
The ethos of the school will be improved, and I believe as a school family we will be empowered to be a part of this noble institution.
At Q Park, the additional sanitary convenience will ensure that the children do not have to wait to use the facilities.
This new social infrastructure here, this sanitation block, will definitely support what we're trying to do here as we go about our business of teaching and learning. I'd like to thank the Ministry of Education, JSIF, PetroCaribe for our new sanitation block.
The PDF has also partnered with the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing through its Jamaica Emergency Employment Program JEEP for the construction and distribution of 1,200 wooden houses across the island, free of cost, to persons who have existing applications with Food for the Poor, as well as persons recommended by political representatives, the churches and community groups. 8-year-old Kamoya Edwards is one of the many beneficiaries. It was her letter written to Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, that opened the doors for her family to receive a new home.
Dear Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, greetings to you. I love school, but I find it difficult to attend. My mother tries her best with us, but she have no help at all. She applied for a house and she have not get any response. I feel happy now that I have a nice home and a nice place to study.
It has changed my life a lot because where I was never convenient.
The Coronation Market has also been renovated through loan funding from the PDF under the Urban Development Corporation's UDC's Urban and Community Development Initiative. Part of the process towards sustainable growth and economic development is investment in energy sources that will not result in fluctuations that negatively impact the domestic market. The PDF has adopted a forward-thinking approach and has invested in alternative energy sources, despite the fact that the source of their funding is through oil, the traditional energy resource. This is in direct realization of the PetroCaribe Energy Corporation agreement, which speaks to the region reducing its dependence on fossil fuel.
We have been able to invest in our wind farm at Wicton, the government of Jamaica. We are now generating about 40 megawatts of capacity, and in another 6 or so months we will be increasing that by 24 megawatts of capacity.
The main thing is that alternate energy is a critical component, not just for environmental and global warming considerations, but as a way of bringing down the cost of energy to the population in general. So we see this as an important mission on our part to make the PetroCaribe arrangement be of great benefit for the long term going forward.
In his famous letter from Jamaica, Simon Bolivar noted that education was essential to the process of development. The PDF is building the nation's human capital by providing access to educational resources through its social and cultural enablement initiatives, thus fulfilling dreams and shaping future leaders. When Jamaica celebrated its 50th year of independence, the PDF launched a scholarship program geared towards supporting the educational needs of secondary and tertiary level students. The scholarships are supported by a grant of $209 million Jamaican dollars, which provides funding for courses to study for a maximum of 7 years for high school students and 5 years for university students.
I've always wanted to pursue a career in medicine, and not having the financial platform, this poses a challenge. However, I'm currently in 4th year, and this is how PetroCaribe Development Fund has played a major part in influencing my dream. There are certain criteria, certain requirements that we have to keep in order to maintain this scholarship, and it has propelled me to work to the best of my ability, not only settling for mediocrity.
The PDF also sponsored the National Youth Orchestra of Jamaica program. It targets at-risk students, where music is used as an enrichment and healing tool. A total of over 200 students have benefited from this initiative. At the intersection of North Parade and Church Street stands another gift from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, the Simon Bolivar Cultural Center. It represents an opportunity for cultural exchange and will also function as a performing and visual arts facility. The center was officially opened in April 2015 and includes the Simon Bolivar Exhibit Hall to commemorate the Venezuelan liberator's stay in Jamaica in 1815 and provides a link to the architectural period that existed at the time of his stay in Kingston. According to the PetroCaribe Energy Corporation agreement, territories which are beneficiaries can repay the debt to Venezuela through goods and services. Jamaica has been making use of this facility by exporting clinker to Venezuela.
There was a shortage of cement at the time in Venezuela, and we felt that Jamaica could facilitate and assist Venezuela with its bid for additional housing for the country. So we approached the Jamaican government with this proposal to supply Venezuela with cement. We were discussing cement all along, and then somebody, I think it was one of the agents that we actually were utilizing to facilitate the discussions, came up with the concept that maybe we should supply clinker, because they felt that Venezuela might have been a little more open to the concept of importing a raw material or an intermediate material instead of a final product. Clinker, it is an intermediary product. It is manufactured in what is called a kiln, K-I-L-N, and raw materials such as limestone and shale are put into this kiln. The kiln is heated to extremely high temperatures, and coming out of it after the processes have taken place is this product called clinker. Clinker is then put into what we call a finishing cement mill, where it is ground very, very fine into a powder that we know as cement. At this stage, there are other products which are added to it, such as gypsum and pozzolan, which facilitate the final product, cement. The total value of the two contracts that we have entered into with Venezuela add up to 340,000 tons of clinker, which is equivalent to approximately 28 million US dollars. However, year to date, up until this point in time, we have sent to Venezuela clinker valuing approximately $20 million.
The PDF is clearly committed to Jamaica's long-term economic and social development. To accomplish this, the fund is working hand in hand with the government's National Development Strategy, supporting the central government and public bodies to meet their financing needs. I hope you found the information shared very valuable. Join us again tomorrow for more about what's happening right here at home. Until then, keep in touch through our communication channels, the JIS website, YouTube channel, or Twitter and Facebook pages. See you soon, same time, same place. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. May you continue to have a wonderful Wednesday.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.